Well, and that's the thing, I think we can get as sophisticated as you want to get. And I think that's the thing I've noticed over the years is, sports science keeps getting more and more complicated, which can be a good thing, but also, like you said, can be a detriment at the same time because a lot of it, you get so bogged down in all the data and all the numbers and things like that that you forget about the eyeball test and, going, hey, this doesn't look quite right. How do we go in and fix that? And I think earlier we were talking about, some of the different, tools and, ways to look at physiological monitoring and things of that nature. Just want to get kind of your thoughts on some of those techniques and methods that are being used right now.
Yeah, some of them are good, and some of them are so elaborate that you have to have additional staff members.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one of my friends is an NBA coach, and he said that one of the techniques that they were using indicated that the player that they thought was the laziest player on the team was moving the most in practice. And it contradicted what they saw as coaches. And so having 4 coaches with a total of over 100 years of experience, they all said this guy's lazy, and the test or the equipment said, showed that he was moving the most, and they didn't buy it.
Yeah.
So it didn't support their opinions.
Right.
And so sometimes as a coach, the machine says one thing, but players know how to cheat.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We were doing some testing back when I was in South Texas, looking at some ice hockey players, which you can imagine how popular that is down there. But we had heart rate monitors on them during a game situation, and we had this one kid that he was getting his heart rate up pretty darn high, like close to his theoretical max, like he's pushing 200 the whole time. And he was trying to make the argument to the coaches on paper. He's like, well, see, guys, I'm working really hard here. I'm working at a high level. I'm like, well, yeah, it's because you're getting beaten like you stole something. It's like, so that's not a good thing. We need you to work less hard and be more energy efficient and conserve that energy better. So it is one of those things that a lot of times all these numbers you can get a little bit dazzled by them, and sometimes they, unless you look at them with that common sense perspective, they don't always mean what you think they mean.
Yeah, we've done heart rate. The first time I did heart rate, I was at Texas Tech, and we took their basketball players, and we found a couple of interesting things, and one was a player sitting on the bench has a heart rate down here, and the guy playing has a heart rate here. And when they go change places, one goes in and one goes out. There's an emotional effect. His heart rate immediately went up, and this guy's immediately went down. The another thing we saw was a guy shooting a free throw. His heart rate is high. If he makes it, his heart rate immediately drops.
Yeah.
If he misses it, it immediately goes up even higher. And the coach said, "Oh, that's because we've coached him so well that he's getting in position to get the rebound." And
psychological stress, is it?
And the player said, "No, it's because we're looking over at the bench, because if you miss a shot, you're looking to see who's coming in." So
right.
You get different things. And then we did, I think, 4 major league games. We did the pitching coach, the hitting coach, the third base coach, and the manager. And we did their heart rates through four games. And what we found was, when we were hitting, the hitting coach's heart rate was up and the pitching coach's heart rate was down, and vice versa. But the manager was always high.
There you go, yeah. So buck stops there at the end of the day, no matter
yeah,
what,
and
right?
that was supported by some of the work we did with basketball, in that we looked at the coach and the referee. Mm-hmm. And the referee running up and down the court had a lower heart rate than the coach sitting on the bench. So there's a lot of emotional involvement there. But one of the things that came out of that was the coach started working out, trying to control his heart rate a little bit more. Yeah, trying to get some sort of sympathetic control here.
Yeah, no